How are you,
I
Rabbi?
appreciate. Okay, I appreciate the opportunity to discuss that. And while we are not, so to speak, in the red zone, we are all in a place that we have to follow the regulations, and we want to work with the government. And I believe the only way that's going to work is that you it. I don't want to speak for Borough Park and Flatbush, Midwood, and other places upstate, but I can only suggest that a committee from institutions that have these issues be able to sit down with your key people and sit down face to face. I'm sure they'll be ready to do that face to face and try to work something out. I would like, Mr. Governor, just one other thing to make. You mentioned the issue about about two issues. One of the issues about the terms that has been used and against the governor. I think it's very clear that it had no representation who did that. The protests were condemned. The Central Rabbinical Congress came out, and so did so many responsible leadership and rabbis coming out and condemned this type of behavior. On the final issue that I wanted to say, please, Mr. Governor, you know, we all know that some press likes sensation. And when somebody tweets something, they contact your office or ask you questions, and it's total false. For example, somebody associated a protest that was supposed to happen, which was never actually meant to happen for tomorrow, with a protest against the wedding, and you responded obviously to that, but this is totally not the case. First of all, the protest is not going to happen, and was never suggested as a protest. Plus, definitely had nothing to do with the wedding. So the same issue is on the 10,000 people. You have 10,000 people do not have space in the synagogue, and synagogue went out of its way, the congregation about the wedding, to change and basically scrapped all the plans for any public participation in the wedding. So I think it's crucial when some newspapers or tweeters or bloggers try to engage the governor with these type of accusations, that is checked and verified, and then it would be known that it's not true and there's no basis for it. Thank you.
Yeah. What have we? We've known each other over 20 years, Rabbi.
Yes.
You are right, and you are correct that in this crazy world, everything gets blown out of proportion. And you're right that the press comes to me. They ask me a question with an asserted fact in it. There is a wedding that's going to have 10,000 people. How can you let that happen? They assert the fact, and then it's hard to say to the reporter, well, I don't know if that's true or not. But and I understand that things are said on a personal level, because I'm the governor, right? But we're all people at the end of the day. It is hard. We go back to my father's time, right, with the Shabbos Goy speech.
Yeah.
So we go back a long time, and it's just hard to hear some of these things on the personal level. But look, I would be my pleasure to sit down with a small group and work on it. Here's the one caveat. I can't change the law for one particular area. The law is the law all across the state. It's the same law. Now, in these zones, where we get the numbers down, we can change the zone because our hospitalization data, our data is so specific, it goes block by block. So we make progress. I can change the zones. I can't change the law of the state. You know, the law on gatherings has been 50% for months. So I can't change the law, but I can work with you on how to get the numbers down. And if we're making progress in an area, you know, I don't want to close anything, right? I mean, I want to open everything as fast as we can. And, you know, to the extent of the Orthodox community, I got sued by the Catholic Church. It's not just
that's your co-religion.
Yeah, that's right. It's not just the synagogues that are closed in those areas. You know, I have the Catholic Church, and they sued me, and I'm Catholic, as you know. So it'd be my pleasure to sit down with a small group. I always have. I always will. I want to do this cooperatively. There is no leader who's worth his or her salt who doesn't want to reduce the number of people going into hospitals. I can't imagine.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So it would be my pleasure. We can do that as soon as you're available. We'll put together a group. We'll do it.
Yaakov Bender from Far Rockaway, New York. I have to say again, I'm wonderful. Like I said, I know your father very well. He was out here when you were growing up, and so are you still. A little bit forgive me. Can I give you a little bit mussar? You know, mussar is not rebuke. You are taking it too personally. There are 1.5 million Jews in New York City. There are over 1 million Orthodox Jews. Don't paint us all with the same brush. You don't know how wonderful we speak about you. You know the speeches we gave condemning how dare you say something dirty about the governor. We have had the most wonderful relationship with the governor and your people. And, you know, we really appreciate everything you've done over the years. I want to give them, I know what this said by the rabbi, but I want to repeat it. Please remember that when you see some, pardon me, idiots doing silly things, don't paint us with that brush. We are really beating up on them. We're doing everything in our power to stop these people. At the same time, you know, one thing you mentioned earlier, you were sued without anybody talking to you. That's one thing I feel is unfair. We wanted to meet with you. We wanted to speak with you. We didn't get the time. But let me say what I'm calling about, the schools. 80%, I have a school in Far Rockaway, 2,600 kids. 80% of our parent body, both parents are working. Cases now, 2,600 kids. There's got to be a way, Governor. What I'm saying is, in our community, again, I think there's one single person in the local hospitals of COVID. Same thing with Kew Gardens Hills. I know the Queens area, right? Same thing. And we're being painted with a brush. It can't wait like another week. You have to assign people to see what's going on. Send them into the community. Talk to us. The only thing that came to us were the tracers and made the whole community crazy. Believe me, we have nothing but the deepest respect for you, and I'm saying that clearly and sincerely with my whole heart. I speak for a school of 3,000 people, staff and children. No one says if anybody would say, one of my parents in my school would say one bad word calling you a name, he'd be looking for a new school governor. We have nothing but the deepest respect for yourself. And I want you to remember that. So don't let the emotion get to you either. You know, I'm the head of the school. People sign up with me also. And I help them all day long. It's something I call the lash out factor. When people get upset, they lash out. I'm convenient. So are you. You're also convenient. I'm not the governor of New York State. I'm only the head of a school. They're going to lash out. Don't let it bother you. But we need for you badly to look at the cases on the ground. The fact of the matter is that our schools, and in Brooklyn, there are many schools that are doing fine today. We can't wait. The children are home running around the streets. The damage is being done is so bad. Last year, we understand people are dying in a much worse way. And you took charge, and you did the job, Governor. But right now, we have so many people without schools. They're on the streets, and parents are not there to take care of them. And we've done our job. You asked us 3-4 weeks ago to get to work on the numbers. I sent you last week the numbers in our community. They are down to well under 2% now on I think 9 days already. We need to get the students back into class and back into school. I mean, we're paying the staff anyways. We got to do something, Governor. You got to help us. In other words, yes, we want to talk. Sure, we want to talk. But, you know, I think everybody would agree. I'm not saying the schools are very important and the churches and the schools. Nothing more than taking care of the children. They're going backwards in a very bad way. And you know they're better than anybody. And so did your father. I remember Rabbi Shera. I knew your father through Relay Sheriff. The respect that he had for your father, the way we spoke about your father, and the same is true about you. Get it in, Governor, you got to hear that. We really do. But we need to have that dialogue, as mentioned earlier. We need to have the conversation going on. And please get the schools open. And our school, I'm crying about it. We were shut down at the beginning because of 8 cases out of 2,600. And the answer we were given, the school had 200 kids, has 5 cases, it isn't shut down. Governor, you got to help us. It can't wait. The kids are on the streets. It's a terrible thing, and we need your help, Governor, because we love you. And don't pay bills. Don't, one more time, don't paintbrush. You have no idea how to see the Williamsburg and Borough Park like you also. They really do. And I certainly speak for the community that I'm in, and the kids are in those communities. That's my Queens, that's my area. I'm speaking on behalf of a number of rabbis who put me on the phone book and they asked me to speak on their behalf. We are on the health badly, and we love our governor. Now help us. Get the schools open.